Daily Faceoff insider Frank Saravalli has finally made it to Edmonton. Frank, you had a hell of a travel day yesterday. How happy are you to be back up north in Edmonton?
I was happy to get here and have a room. I checked in 2:30 in the morning, and I go to the room, hit the key on the door, and there's someone in there. So anyway, long story short, but it was an adventure yesterday. I'll say that.
Oh my God. Knowing what I know about how terrible your travel day was yesterday, for you to walk into someone else's room at 2:30 in the morning, I'm laughing because I feel pain for you, Frank. But you made it. You're ready to go for Game 3 of this Stanley Cup final as it shifts to Edmonton. How significant of a boost and how significant of a factor do you think home ice advantage is for the Oilers in this game?
Well, the energy is certainly going to be there. This is the first Stanley Cup final non-bubble game played in Canada since 2011, Game 7 between the Vancouver Canucks and Boston Bruins. It's different here. Those are facts. It's certainly different in Edmonton. We know that. I've been at almost every Oilers playoff home game so far during this run. This building has been loud. It's been electric. There's tons of reasons to think that this Oiler team, given all the things that they've faced to this point in the year, being left for dead in November, and now being a team that's overcome some significant hurdles when it comes to the playoffs, that they can find a way to get back into this series, starting with Game 3 on home ice.
Yeah, it's absolutely a must win tonight down at Rogers Place if you want to get back into this series against the Cats. What do you need to see from the Oilers? And I know we talked about this a little bit yesterday. We obviously discussed it on Daily Faceoff Live today as well. But from an on-ice perspective, what do you need to see from this Oilers team tonight?
Need to see more depth. You know, I don't know what it is about this market. I don't know what it is about the coverage of this team in general, but whenever you get through a spurt like they just did, 2 games in Florida, 1 goal scored, outscored 7-1, the first thing that everyone kind of seems to want to point to is, hey, what about 97 and 29? And for me, the big thing is, where's the rest of the depth scoring? Look at the Florida Panthers and who they've gotten goals from so far in this series. Evan Rodriguez, Luostarinen, Mikkola. It hasn't been Sam Reinhart. It hasn't been Alexander Barkov. It hasn't been Sam Bennett, or pick any of the big name scorers, Matthew Tkachuk from the Florida Panthers. Basically, what's happened so far in these first 2 games is the top 2 lines have sawed each other off and made themselves net neutrals, and it's been the depth that has outshone the Edmonton Oilers. Now, they had an advantage in the Dallas Stars series where they were probably on paper the team that was overmatched, and they found a way to combat that in a significant way with different guys stepping up at different moments in time. But where are Zach Hyman? Where is Ryan Nugent-Hopkins? Evander Kane, is he playing tonight or not? In the Florida Panthers locker room, Evander Kane was on the board as a projected scratch. So it depends how you look at this. To me, it doesn't come down to Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl not scoring. And that said, I asked you this question on the show today, Tyler. When's the last time that Leon Draisaitl went more than 2 consecutive games in the postseason without a point? You have to go all the way back to 2017 against the San Jose Sharks in round 1.
Yeah, that's a long time since Draisaitl. I mean, he's been, as you called him, Frank, the most consistent or best playoff performer of this generation, and he's been quiet through 2 games. And just hearing him speak after the game in Game 2 down in Florida, I think he's relatively pissed off as well. I think he obviously recognizes that he wasn't good enough in that hockey game. So that's going to be a big factor here. Another thing we discussed earlier today was just the mindset of the Florida Panthers coming into this game, because yes, the Edmonton Oilers on home ice, massive boost. They're going to come out and I think give their best effort of this series tonight. But from Florida's perspective, this is maybe where their experience comes into play a bit, no?
Yeah, it does. And Paul Maurice was asked about that, right? It's 2-0. It's human nature for the team that's down in the series to throw their best punch of the Stanley Cup final right at this exact moment in time on Thursday night. But the Panthers are ready for that. They were the team that was in that spot last year, and they're hungry. They arrive here. They've been in difficult cauldrons to play in so far this postseason. They went to 2 different Original 6 arenas. They beat the Boston Bruins. They beat the New York Rangers. They are well prepared to step into this moment and this environment, especially having been to the Cup final last year. And so I don't envision them blinking. I'd imagine that their toughest part tonight is going to probably be trying to weather the first 10 minutes. And if we get to the first 10 minutes and it's scoreless, well, then there might be some nervous energy that takes place in this building.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Now, your boots on the ground in the arena. What are the vibes like in the dressing room, the Oilers dressing room specifically?
I think they're excited for the opportunity. They know that there was a missed opportunity in game one, Jay, to really try and, put their stamp on the series and make a mark on it. They would have accomplished exactly what they wanted, which was getting a split to open. They didn't do that, and now they're certainly facing an uphill climb and challenge. But I mentioned before the idea that no matter the obstacle, whether it was a 2-9-1 start, whether it's been different varying points through the playoffs so far, including never having a lead at all against the Canucks in round 2, they feel like they're well prepared to handle this situation as well. And I see a team that's got a ton of faith and a ton of optimism that, on a night when you, again, need your best players to step up, that you're going to get one of those type of games from Connor McDavid. You're going to get one of those type of games from Leon Draisaitl.
Last one, I guess, for you. It was kind of made a big deal by some people yesterday about the Panthers' flight being delayed, not being able to get in. Is that a factor or a non-factor?
Paul Maurice was, as you might expect, great about that this morning. He said, look, the only thing that really happened is the coaching staff gained 7 pounds. He said, we ate like 12 meals between the time that we killed. He said the players enjoyed themselves. They had a chance to relax on the plane, 5-hour flight. They do, kind of being an outpost there in South Florida, have some of the most difficult travel that's in the Eastern Conference, certainly more difficult than some teams in the West. Every team in their division is at least a 3-hour flight away. So this is really nothing new for them. The fact that they got in late, and late being 9:00 Mountain Time, it's still light here. The game is still being played on Eastern Time for a team that hasn't played a single game at all outside of their time zone in 5 months. This is a team that, really seems to be dialed in. So I'm not expecting anything different from a Panthers perspective, just based on, the flooding that occurred in South Florida and a little bit of a delayed flight.
Perfect. Frank, appreciate your time, man. Thanks for doing this.
See you guys.
There you go. Frank Seravalli. What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.